Hello everybody, and welcome to another HustleNHoops team breakdown. Today, we're going to be talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. Now let's just jump right into it with their big four, core four, whatever. You got Jaren right at the one. He, one of the most explosive guards we have in this league. Yeah, shouts out Jaja. You got Jaren Jackson Jr., the DPOY so far. Sorry, Burke Lopez. You got Desmond Bane, the MIP, the guy coming in to constantly prove himself, showing us some playmaking chops this year, which is nice. You got Dillon Brooks, who is a defensive demon, one of the best point of attack defenders that we have in this league. To jump right into it, they're 31-14. They were on an 11-game win streak until last night against the Lakers, where they lost on a last-minute steal, but they were 7th in offensive rating at 114.8, 1st in defensive rating at 109.2, tied 15th in field goal percentage at 47.2, and 20th in three-point percentage at 35. To get into their play types, they were 2nd in transition possessions at 22.7 and tied for 13th in points per possession. They were 2nd in PNR ball handler possessions and 24th in points per possession. Ja and Steven Adams averaged around 21 ball screens per game. Tyus and Dillon combined for around 8 with Steven per game, and then Tyus and Brandon Clark averaged around 8 per game. Now, this team has 3 primary playmakers, primary scorers, primary play initiators. That's Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and Tyus Jones. Now, Dillon Brooks definitely comes in and gives you some playmaking here and there. You've got John Conchar, who started to show a few moments of, being able to handle and playmake. Or Santi Aldama, showing some moments of being able to handle and playmake. They do run some through Brandon Clark as well. But Steven Adams is going to be setting screens all game, running pick and roll with Ja and Tyus as much as possible. You're going to have Desmond Bane running off screens. You're going to have Dillon Brooks cutting. You're going to have Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson posted up or, cutting to the 3, because both of those guys can shoot, with Jaren being at 36% on 4 attempts and Brandon Clark being at, not able to shoot this year. Never mind, cut that. Unfortunately, we haven't seen as much Xavier Tillman as I'd like to see. David Roddy has been nice. I've really liked watching all of their young guys come in and just hoop, because Memphis knows how to draft. And we used to look at shooting efficiency numbers. Thought it'd be interesting this week if we looked at lineup efficiency. Now, the first lineup that I looked at was a very interesting one. It was one lineup that played against San Antonio for 17 minutes, scored 46 points, shot 71% from 3, 12 defensive rebounds, 6 steals, 3 blocks, and it was Tyus, Dillon, Desmond, Jaren, and Steven out there just killing San Antonio. Now, it's San Antonio, so I'm not going to sit here and make a huge point about this, but I think it is very interesting when, you look at the potential that Memphis has to kind of supplement the offense when Ja's not on the floor. It is such an important aspect of the Memphis Grizzlies' success over the past, couple of years. And it's just genuinely interesting year after year to watch. Last year I think it was that they had a higher win percentage without Ja on the floor than with Ja on the floor or something. And that's not a statement about Ja, that's a statement about the team. So you look again and you see stats like these, and you just have to commend the team, players, the coaching staff, everything, because between injuries and different reasons, that we don't know about, whatever, this team has struggled to keep every single person on the floor. Steven Adams has played 40 games. John Conchar has played 40 games. David Roddy has played 39. Santi Aldama has played 42. Brandon Clark has played 39. Tyus Jones has played 45. You've got just a few games here and there where, you have to do it without Ja, or you have to do it without Desmond. And they've had to do it without Jaren for the beginning of the season. And you saw the almost exponential climb of their defensive rating as Jaren came into the lineup. And you just have to commend it. Now, their number 1 ran lineup by possessions at 346 possessions was Ja, Dillon, John, Jaren, and Steven as John Conchar. This lineup had a 55.7 effective field goal percentage. They shot 65.8% at the rim, 44.3% from all mid, 35.6% from all three-point percentage. Their least ran lineup at 123 possessions was Ja, Desmond, Conchar, Santi, and Steven. This lineup had a 60% effective field goal percentage, 73.5% at the rim, 60% from the long mid, 60% from the long mid for Ja, Desmond, John Conchar, Santi Aldama, and Steven Adams. Okay. And 41% from three, almost 42. This team has the capability to kind of just throw out any of their guys, and it damn near always works. Their lineup variation, their lineup versatility is very high. Now, is their defensive versatility super high? Not necessarily. They have two small guards. They have an undersized shooting guard. They've got an undersized small forward, but they have one of the best power forwards defensively in the league, and they have one of the strongest and best screen setters in the league, in Steven Adams. So, there is a lot to this team, but not much to their offense. Now let's just go right to the deep dive because I'm rambling too much. Being third in drives per game, Ja is going to just get by you. At 14.5 drive points per game, he gets over half of his points on drives. I mean, he's shooting 62% at the rim. For him to be a 6'2 guard, scoring the way he does, it's very fun to watch. Hard to look away, almost. He was in the 99th percentile in drives per 75, 99th percentile in unassisted rim field goal attempts per 75. He was in the 5th percentile in rim shot quality, in the 88th percentile in rim shot making. The other aspect of Ja's game that I really want to focus on is his playmaking. He was in the 97th percentile in assist points per 75, the 98th percentile in potential assists per 100 passes, and the 99th percentile in box creation. Passing from his left to right hand, from the top of the key, passing out on a drive, a beautiful skip pass to the open shooter, or the transition lead passes. Ja is a playmaking talent with the capability to make the typically difficult reads seem easy. Now, he also does have those moments with the chase down blocks and the deflections and steals at the rim. He was in the 96th percentile in rim defensive field goal percentage versus expected percentage. He was in the 92nd percentile in rim points saved per 75. So Ja is not just going to give you, nothing on defense. He's not an absolute zero on that end, which some other guards can be. But at the end of the day, this Memphis defense is led by Jaren. Ever since his return, they've climbed to number 1 in defensive rating, and looking at his individual numbers, it's hard to deny him the DPOY as of now. He was in the 93rd percentile in percentage of rim shots contested. He was in the 94th percentile in rim contests per 75. He was in the 99th percentile in blocks per 75. He was in the 99th percentile in block rate on contest percentage. He was in the 99th percentile in rim defensive field goal percentage versus expected percentage. He was in the 99th percentile in rim points saved per 75. And he was in the 84th percentile in help defense activity. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies played Jaren as a roamer, as, the Evan Mobley, Robert Williams, Giannis Antetokounmpo role, where, they are both the primary rim protector and also following the ball and watching for off-ball screens and cuts and the drive, obviously, and it is their primary role to protect the rim. Now, what does all this mean or enable the Memphis Grizzlies to do? Make a playoff run of some kind. Do I think they're a finals team? No, I don't. Do I think they could go on a semi-finals run? Possibly, depending on, do you have Ja Morant having the inefficient games that he did last playoff run? Do you have Jaren Jackson fouling out of games consistently, or at least being in foul trouble consistently? Do you have Dillon Brooks kind of becoming an offensive negative during the playoffs at times, where he just goes straight cold all of a sudden? Are you going to have Tyus Jones play as well as he did last playoff series, or playoff year? I don't know. I don't know. But it is a very interesting team. It's a very interesting team, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought, and chicken wraps.